Welcome to my channel, and as promised I'm back with you once again with another video of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And as I told you before, as promised, I'm going to talk about the flex to temp settings in the MCDU. This is one kind of a setting required in the MCDU while preparing the flight plan, and plus your takeoff management. You have to enter this temperature over here. Remember this thing, that on the throttle or the thrust of the Airbus A320 has got different settings. This is the zero thrust, and during the climb you keep your thrust over here for the climb, which is roughly 77%. If I bring it over here, let's see what happens. It says 77%. Then this is the flex, which is a reduced thrust for the takeoff, and this is toga, which is takeoff and go around thrust power. So I'll bring it back to 0. So these are the 4 settings for the thrust. So during the takeoff, you either keep the thrust at toga or you keep at flex. If you keep the thrust at toga, which is takeoff and go around, it's a maximum thrust. If you look at the dials over here, it means over here, just like full maximum takeoff. The flex setting is actually used to have reduced thrust for the takeoff, in order to save the life of the engine, in order to reduce the wear and tear on the engine. Because if you are taking off at a full thrust every time, and then obviously there's too much load on the engines. So I've been telling this in my videos that flex to temp is always higher than the outside temperature. So let's say if it's really hot in summers and you're in Middle East and the outside temperature is around about 50 or 40 or 50, you keep it at 60. You tell the engine that it's 60 degrees outside, so the flight management system keeps the engine thrust to certainly a reduced point. And let's see if I take the thrust over here to this orange line, which is, if I keep it over here, you can see now the thrust is not going to 100%. It's at a reduced level, which is 81.6 at 60 degrees. So let's get back. And what if I set this flex to, let's say, 40? At 40 we should have at least a higher thrust. It's still 81.6. I don't know, it's not changing over here. And every time I have been flying the Flybywire A320 and plus the 330 Neo, I have been facing this issue that it doesn't go more than this. And if I try to take it more than this, I hear an error, especially in A330, because the Flybywire A320 is designed in such a way that even if I bring the throttle up to even the maximum, up to toga, it's the power is over here. It's reduced. But in A330 I hear an error. So I don't know what happens in the real life for the real plane. But it's totally up to you whether you want to go a full power or with a reduced thrust. So if you set the flex to temp at 40, let's say if we set it to 0, nothing happened. It's just like at 81.6. Anyhow, this was just a basic thing I wanted to touch in my video. So remember this thing, that the flex to temp reduces the thrust during the takeoff, and it is always less than 100%. 95%, 96% is a good thrust for the takeoff, and you reduce the thrust over here at the thrust reduction altitude. I hope this video has given you some information, some good information about the flex to temp, as I've been telling you before in my videos as well. I've seen a formula on the internet, and I was trying to get more information about the formula, but every time I put different information into that formula, it gives me 16 degrees. So you always add 16 degrees to the outside temperature. So let's say if the outside temperature is 20, you add 16 and it's 36. So your flex to temp is like 36. But this flex to temp temperature also depends on the elevation of the runway, and plus the outside temperature, obviously, because it's one of the variable factors. So that's how you calculate that. So roughly it's like 16 degrees added to the outside temperature, roughly, if you want to just keep it in your mind. I was hoping that this orange bar should move when I'm changing the temperature. It's not changing. I don't know what's the reason. I will try to do it once again. You also do it with your flight simulator and tell me that does it really change or it doesn't. Because if I keep it at 40 degrees, it means it's not that high. The outside temperature is roughly 28, 26 degrees. And this should come over here because I need some power during the takeoff. So remember this thing, that if you want to have more power to your takeoff, then always go for toga and try not to enter this information over here in the MCDU, otherwise it will be restricted. It always restricts you over here. If you've got any questions, do let me know in the comment section, and I will be really delighted to answer your questions, and plus any positive feedback is also welcome on my channel. Thank you very much for staying with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I keep on making videos and you'll get the updates for that. Have a nice day. Hope to see you soon.